volunteer, like I said. We are event planners, and we love to throw parties. We are best known so far for our fireworks shows. We have one at New Year's Eve. We have another at the 4th of July. And I don't know how many people know, hopefully all of you, but 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the United States independence. Now, we put on a pretty good show. But how much better of a show do you think it's going to be this year? It can't be if you don't get involved. Okay? So we need everyone to step up and help us put on the biggest show this county has ever seen. And you do that by dropping in your donations at our fireworks jars. You'll see them all over town. You'll see them at Under His Wings. You'll see them at Wild Willie's. You'll see them at dollar stores and at Cullum's and all the places. So whenever you see a jar, drop in your contribution. And it's not a one-time thing, just so that you know. If your business is interested in sponsoring the show, we have sponsorships opportunities as well. You can go see the fine folks at that back table to find out all about that. But we are going to need an extraordinary amount of contributions and participation from you guys as a community to make this be the biggest, best 4th of July that we have ever had.
Absolutely.
We don't want to start fire department, but we ain't making fun. We also had our family day. We do that every May. That kind of kicks off our slate of events for the year. We love to fly kites when the wind allows. Sometimes it's too rough to fly them. It was last year. We have great things for the kids to get involved with. We mentioned 4th of July. We will have vendors this year. We are going to have the parade as usual. Like, it is going to be all out. We had our first annual Harvest Festival last year, which was a ton of fun. You can see some of the pies that were entered in our pie contest. We had a car show. And who can forget the trebuchets, the pumpkin chunkin'. Did anybody miss the pumpkin chunkin'? Because I feel bad for you. It was awesome. So this year, bigger, better, more pumpkins, hopefully farther. Everybody learned from their inaugural run, right? So we're going to be throwing some more pumpkins this year. And then our Veterans Day Parade, which is always wonderful. We have a community full of veterans, and we love you all so much. And then their last was our Christmas Parade, our first electric light Christmas Parade.
Yeah.
Wasn't it fantastic? I know we got second place, quit mine. But it is going to be bigger and better again this year. So we're so excited to have our next electric light parade. So you might be wondering, how do we get all of this done? First of all, volunteer help. We're a community run, empowered by volunteers. We cannot do anything. We don't have a city council. We don't have any form of tax-based dollars that get funded into this community, right? Everything we do on our own, and we are run by volunteers. So get involved. If you want to see something happen, then let us know and be involved. We were able to raise a little over $15,000 this past year. It was fantastic. A lot of that came from business sponsorships. Thank you, Northern Cochise Community Hospital, for being a part of that. Also, Arizona G&T was a major sponsor of ours this past year. Of course, most of our money goes towards fireworks.
Yay!
Right? Let's burn some cash, y'all, right at the sky. Some of our supplies, our insurance this year, and some marketing, but all in all, you can see how we spend our money up here at the top. We ended the year with a tiny little bit of surplus, which is what we like to do. We want to be good stewards of everything that you contributed to us. Again, we cannot do what we do without the volunteers in this community. So I want to recognize Ms. Dee Howman as this year's anything associated with the SCA. You will see her all over town. So when you see her, know that she is busy woman and is really involved in our community. But sometimes community service looks a little different. Sometimes community service is quiet and understated and kind of behind the scenes. So we want to recognize Miss Sherilyn Ucat. So Sherilyn and Mike, they own Under His Wings 333. If you guys love pizza and ice cream, if you just love to go socialize, that is a great place to go in our community. But what most of you don't know is that Sherilyn and Mike feed a ton of people in this community for absolutely free. What you guys may not know is that we don't have Uber Eats or DoorDash or none of that around here, right? But we have Sherilyn. If you are sick, I'm gonna get choked up. If you are sick, if you are down, if for whatever reason you can't get to the store, you can call Sherilyn. And I guarantee you, other than my accent, she probably doesn't even know it's me when I call. But it don't matter to her. She acts like she's known you her whole life. So thank you for being a member of this community.
Yes.
Thank you for sticking around even after all of this. We love you, and we are here for you just as much as you are here for us. So thank you. And can I just say how gorgeous she is? I totally stole that off your Facebook. So as we look forward to 2026, I want to introduce you to your new board of directors. We have, oh crap. Wrong slide. We have Mr. Bruce Price. He is going to be your president for this coming year. We have Nancy Sowers back there in the back. You will see her a lot of the kids' events. She's our vice president. Miss Annette. I've lost you.
Yeah.
Miss Annette, you'll see her at TJ from time to time, but she's going to be our new treasurer. And Barb LaRose, you met her as you came in. She's our fearless secretary. We love her and thank you for all that you do. And then we have other members at large. These guys are boots on the ground. Mr. Chaz back in the back. He's also responsible for all of our fireworks. Mr. Charles Reed is a new member. Thank you, Charles. Miss Laura Phillips. There she is, Miss Laura. She's new to our board. And then Amy Lidner. Thank you so much for serving. Amy is continuing to serve on our board as well. You guys are in wonderful hands. These are a great group of people. They love this community and they are intensely dedicated to it. And then finally, if you want to make a note of these, there's also a little half sheet of paper with a schedule of all of our events for 2026. Be sure you pick one of those up if you haven't already. Our Kids Day, like I said, it kicks it off. We're going to have a fantastic 4th of July this year. We're so excited for that. Our Harvest Festival, again, on the 7th of November. Our Veterans Day Parade on Veterans Day. Imagine that. Christmas Parade is the first Saturday, in December. And then our New Year's Eve fireworks again. So thank you guys so much. Please get involved in your community. Please donate when you see the jars sitting outside all of our local businesses, and we appreciate you so much. All right, so next will be our community speakers. Our fire department is up first.
Well, we want to thank everyone for having us here for the fire department. My name is Eric Greenberg. I'm a captain with the Sunsites First Fire District, and I'm speaking on behalf of Chief Levi Garner. He's out currently on medical leave, but he should be back in about a week and a half or so. Just some information as far as the fire district, as far as what we did last year. From a call volume standpoint, we ran 774 calls. Of those 774, 338 were medical calls that resulted in us transporting someone to the hospital. And then of those transports, 44 were people that we flew directly to Tucson just for better access as far as medical care. And then as far as the fires that we had last year, we responded to 45 fires total. 31 were wildland fires and brush fires that are very common in our area. 7 were structure fires, and then 7 were vehicle fires. And as I mentioned, apparently 4th of July will be running fires. As far as some of the revenue sources that we had last year, 2 notable ones that stand out. As most know, we're a tax-based fire district, but we still have to rely on other forms of revenue to kind of make ends meet. 2 of the biggest ones that helped us was one, our wildland revenue for last year was about $360,000, so that was a huge help for the fire district. And then in addition to that, we received just under $400,000 of grant revenue, which was immensely helpful. Unfortunately, a lot of our equipment is extraordinarily expensive, and so that money goes a really long way with helping us maintain operations as a fire district. Just some notable education facts about the fire district. We're always trying to better ourselves from an educational standpoint. We have one firefighter that's in paramedic school right now, set to graduate in, I believe, July or August. And then we have another 2 that will be attending paramedic school later this year. And another one trying to get into a rope rescue class in the Tucson area. And then another 1 or 2 that will be in a captain's academy class that will be hosted at Pride Fire District on the other side of the county. So we're certainly trying to do everything we can to maintain and continue our education from a fire standpoint to best serve the needs of the community. Another thing that Levi wanted me to talk on is wildland season. So we really, as most would know, we really didn't have much of a winter at all. Yeah, exactly. So wildland season is most definitely here, and so we would ask the homeowners do everything they can to protect their home first. That starts with clearing around space around your own property. That way, if a fire comes through, your home can have the best chance of survival. Of course, with support from us, but for an example, if somebody had 10-foot high grass all the way around their home, there's only so much that we can do from a fire department standpoint. And so we really rely on homeowners to do their share as far as giving us the best chance at saving homes. Because that's really what we want to make sure our main focus is protecting people's, certainly their lives, but second to that's property. That being said, we know that many people in this area of Arizona especially regularly do their own controlled burns on their property. We're very much okay with that, but it does have to fall within a little bit of boundaries. Those boundaries are burn permits, and so we would request that if you're going to be doing any burning at your property to fill out the burn permit. That being said, the burn permit is not through the fire district. We don't issue burn permits. I don't think we ever have, at least in the past 10 or 15 years we have not. Those burn permits are directly through the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. And so it's an online permit at this point. You go on their website, and that's how you fill out the permit. And then we respectfully ask that anytime people are going to burn, they just give us a ring just to let us know, hey, we're burning in this area. We can then let our dispatch know. That way we don't have to worry about us coming out and harassing you guys for doing a good deed, is what it comes down to. You're trying to clear your property and make sure things are safe. And so we definitely respect that. And then lastly, we have the Ready, Set, Go program. Some are familiar with it, some are not. If you're not, it's a program that was started a few years ago to provide homeowners with the kind of a set of guidelines as far as what they need to do to protect their own home in event of a wildfire, but also some preparedness activity so that they are prepared for when a wildfire might come through the area. And then second to that is signing up for notifications. That way, if there is a wildfire in the area, our county emergency manager, they're able to send out a notification for a certain geographical area, and that can notify people, hey, we need you to flee and evacuate your home because there's a fire condition that's forcing that and producing the possibility of loss of life. So we would certainly ask that people please register for that program as well. Those can both be found online if you were to just do a Google search of Ready, Set, Go. And the website is is Arizona Emergency Information Network. So that's what that info came from. That's all I got.
Over here, is it any of these organizations want to speak? Tom?
I'll start out.
Well, let's get Tom, so she's up there. I know that you missed that last year.
I'm Barbara Moe, I'm the secretary of COP, which means Community Organized Patrols. I have been serving since 1993. I've been the secretary for about that long. We need people with us. We only have 7 or 8 now, which means once a week. And on vacations, we get more than once a week. It only takes an hour. We are non-confrontational. We don't approach anybody. We don't get out of our vehicles. We just drive around, cover the whole town from Treasure to Ironwood and Lansing to the highway. If we have an after-hours business contact list, if you notice lights on in a building that isn't supposed to be, or water running out, like one night I was out and there was water running down frontage road. And it was a toilet in John Helston's building that didn't shut off. And I called him and I said, hey, John, you got water coming out of your front door. Oh, I'll be right there. So, you know, that, I think I've made 2 calls in all those 30-some years. So, we need people. I would love to have 30 so that everybody gets to go only once. And you can name your, you know, if you say, I can't go on Fridays, or I like Sundays or whatever, fine, we can schedule you for that. And we like to get a go at after dark, because the bad guys are out after dark. And I'd love to sign you up.
So you want to come up?
I'll stand and talk. Hi, I'm Rob. I don't know a lot of you because you don't come into the library, but I am your local branch manager / librarian of the library up on board. It's been a great start to the year so far. We've got numbers up across the board, but there's a really important thing that we've got happening right now, and it deals heavily with our Friends of the Library. Our building is old. It's over 45 years old this year. It's hit 45 years old. And our roofs are showing their age. So this year, the Friends especially are setting up a fundraising program in order to help us replace the roof, replace our HVAC system, and help make the library a much more comfortable and even more welcoming place than it already is. We can't do that alone though. We, as all of our other organizations, rely on you, the community, in order to make these things happen. So whether that's you come into the library, you drop a coin in our bin, or you just spend a few minutes at the library. All of those things help, because all of those things show that our library is useful, it's enjoyable, and that we still got people coming. Don't really have much more than that, other than, you know, it's been a great start to the year, and I'm hoping that we're having another great year with summer reading coming up around the corner. And if y'all have any questions for me, find me at the library down on Ford.
If you could come up here, it'd be great. Live meeting.
Yeah, we gotta be on camera. Just kidding.
Can you get us from here, or do we
No.
need to go over there?
Yeah.
We need to go up there, okay.
Can you see the TV?
Hi, we're both
we are the Public Relations Department at Northern Cochise Community Hospital.
I am Charlotte Taylor, the Community Development Specialist.
And I'm Heidi Janko-Fisher. I basically handle all of the communications and messaging, do social media, and sometimes pitch stories to national magazines to try to get us more on the map, and sometimes get to rate them, which is nice too. But the other things that, well, we work on a lot of things together, but there's so much to do that we actually do a lot of other things separately too. So I run 2 diaper banks, one in Wilcox and one in San Simone. I don't know if you guys are aware of them, but in the past year or so, I think Benson Hospital and our hospital have given out something like 100,000 diapers to help, you know, community. And that's in partnership with the Arizona Diaper Bank in Tucson. And we also have a blanket drive. We'll take blankets any time of year to help people, but obviously the best time of year is now, since it's so cold still early in the morning and late in the evening. So if you guys are in Wilcox and you happen to have, you brought your blankets with you, please feel free to drop them off at the hospital. And we both do, but I've helped a lot at the senior center in Wilcox, which is right behind the hospital, and it's a great place for the seniors. We have a great group there who like to have a lot of fun, so we're kind of hoping that maybe you guys can check it out. You know, anybody who's interested could take the public transit and check it out. It's worth being a part of.
They are a fun group over there. I just wanted to talk a little bit about community development. My role is connecting the hospital with the community. And so Heidi does all the media part, which helps with the programs that I help with. So I wanted to let you know a little bit about some of those programs. The first one is the specialty clinic. So I know we have Sulphur Springs Medical Center, and then we have the Sunsites Clinic, but I actually help with the specialty clinic, which is right there next to the rehab office, for those who've been over there. We are working really hard to try to bring in more specialists so you don't have to go to Tucson. We currently have a handful. We have some dermatology, nephrology, which is our liver, kidneys, and then we have hepatology, which is our liver clinic that's come in. And we also have a general surgeon that comes over and will do colonoscopies and stuff as well. So we're working on bringing in a bunch more for you. I know there used to be something like 26 different specialists that came out of the clinic, and then COVID kind of shut that down. So we're working really hard to bring those people back for you. So keep looking to see as we add more specialists. And I also brought information for the clinic in Benson, because we're all part of that TMC Health family. And so if you can't get into a doctor over here, they do have part of these specialists there. It's still a drive, but you don't have to go all the way to Tucson. So it helps. We also do some programs I wanted to let you know about. Like, I'm working with the rehab department right now on this special program called School Sports First Aid Bags. So the hospital basically bought all the supplies to create a bunch of first aid bags for every single sport for all the schools in our service area, which includes San Simone, Bowie, Wilcox, Cochise, Pierce, Ash Creek, and we're even going down to Valley Union, Elfrida, McNeil, and Dougladoe. So every single sport, not just like one bag per school. We're talking 6 or more bags per school, so one for every sport. And our rehab department needed to remind you guys that we're there. They offer all kinds of programs to help if you need it. Could be after surgery, it could be after an accident. Anyway, she's gonna talk more about that later, but I just wanted to let you know rehab is there and willing to work with people.
And then we also have a car seat and meds matter class that we give for free for parents. The next one is April 8th. All you have to do is sign up, and it's a free class. They give out free car seats to the families for each kid that needs a car seat. And then the meds matter, they do give these little packets so that if you have like expired medication that you want to get rid of, it helps nullify the medication so that you can get rid of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about some of the events that we actually hold as a sponsor every year. And the first one I wanna talk about is our golf event, which this year is the 29th year that we're doing this golf event at Twin Lakes, at the golf course in Wilcox. And what we do is, we're raising money to provide scholarships to local students who want to pursue careers in healthcare. And we hope that they may come back and serve their, family members and neighbors. But that's been a really good program, and we've had a lot of success with it over the years. And that's coming up this May 2nd. If you're, a big fan of golf, or, a good player, it's fun to play. It's $60 a person, 4-person teams. But we have a lot of fun. There's a raffle and a silent auction and prizes. So that's it for the golf tournament.
Just a reminder, Boots and Bling is in September. It's a lot of fun. If you want to come out. And then we wanted to talk about the fact that we try to help with community organizations. Heidi and I serve on several different boards, and if you want us to come out and be more involved, we would be happy if you send us an invitation. We'll come join you. We do stuff like WASA,
Yeah.
Rotary.
Have you guys heard of Wilcox Against Substance Abuse? No? Okay. Well, that's an organization that's actually been around for a while in Wilcox, trying to help, students from making bad decisions, things like that, and we're both a part of that. And
Winchester Heights Health Organization, the Cochise County Board of Health.
And also, I'm on Rex Allen Days, and they could use more people if anyone's interested in participating. They meet once a month at the Country Pride restaurant in the back room, but they could use more people for sure. And also, I'm on the Chamber of Commerce in Wilcox, so you can see that we're always pretty busy, whether it's working for the hospital or working for the community. And also I wanted to talk about, our hospital services. There's been a lot of improvements over the years, and especially now that we're, strongly aligned with TMC in Tucson. And so that's, created a lot of opportunities for us to improve our services. And for example, our radiology department has all of the same facilities, except for the MRI. That's a traveling MRI unit that goes around Cochise County. But other than that, we have everything else that other places that do imaging have. So there's no reason to go to Tucson if you don't have to. I know our physical therapy department's always trying to expand and let people know about the different things they do. And one thing that they asked me to tell everyone about was that if you get a concussion, it's probably necessary for you to get some kind of therapy, and most people don't realize that. That's something that's just become an issue lately. We also have a swing bed program. Are you guys familiar with what that is? When you're not, you've made recovery enough in the hospital that you don't, it depends on the type of hospital, but some hospitals, when you've reached a certain point, they'll discharge you, and then they'll ask you to go to this other care center where you can go and get physical therapy. In our hospital, because of how it's organized, we are able to discharge someone who may still need physical therapy. They're not well enough to go home, so they stay in the hospital, but they're not being serviced by the hospital per se. Now it's the physical therapy department, and they get what they need from that. And, and our lab is good too. We have all of the usual tests that you would find at most hospitals, so that's another reason you don't have to go all the way to Tucson.
You guys are probably tired of us talking, so I'll be really fast. I just want to thank all of our partners, which include people like the Sheriff's Department, and definitely fire and EMS. And by the way, ask Levi about his theater days in high school when I was one of his sponsors. I used to be a teacher. We also wanted to thank Wilcox Fire and EMS, HCI, Ambulance, LifeNet, Lifeline, Airback, and just so you know, we just added Sunrise Air Ambulance, which is clean. All of that to make sure you guys get where you need to be if it's more dire than what could be handled here.
Yeah, and as we say, our mission is to provide exceptional health care with compassion.
Good evening, I'm Angel Love from the City of Wilcox Transit Service. You may have saw me with the mask on. I'm not contagious, I just have asthma problems, some sinus problems, and I didn't want to spontaneously cough on somebody as they came by. So, if you haven't heard about our service, we have one bus, a little transit bus that we send to Sunsites on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We usually here in the morning, pick people up. We're usually door to door unless you're on a dirt road or someplace rough because of our lift being a digital lift. And we take people into Wilcox. We don't go to Benson or Sierra Vista or any of those places, but we'll take you anywhere you want to go in Wilcox there. And about noontime, 11:30 noon, we come back and bring everybody back home. And that's every Tuesdays and Thursday. Right now, our bus is actually in Phoenix. If somebody's called here, they've got the message. Our bus is in Phoenix being worked on. We actually had some water coming up under the floorboards when it rained. So, yeah, we need to get that fixed. But we're a scheduling service, so you just call us and schedule, and we ask, our pamphlets say a minimum of one business day, but we only do have the one bus. And we schedule people in Wilcox after we bring people in from Sunsites. So we want to try and schedule as many people as we possibly can, because we only have the one bus. So when we are asking people to maybe call a couple days in advance, that way we can make sure that we've got room on the bus and we've got enough time. Take something else. I'm sorry. And if you have any questions, just call us. Right now, our office is closed this week. We expect to get our bus back next week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. And if you're over 60 or disabled, we have our little registration form. We're partnered with the Southeast Arizona Government Organization Area Agency on Aging, and that allows you to ride free. So the service from here is free anywhere you want to go in Wilcox. And the fares, if you're under 60, is $2. $2 from here to Wilcox, and then $2 coming back. And if you go to any other places in Wilcox, it's $1. So if you have any questions, stop by the table and come and talk to me. And you know, if you have questions on where you're living at, we're going to be able to get to you. Just let us know, and we can talk to you about that. Thank you.
You ladies from Valley Telecom come up? All right.
Hi, I'm Tammy Carlson Watkins. My mother is Joni Carlson, who has the paper trail. I've also lived here for 14 years. I served on the Sunsites Community Association for 8 years, and I've been on the Sunsites Pierce Fire Board for going on 9 years now. But I'm here tonight to talk to you about Valley Telecom. We serve you all with fiber optic internet. It's the highest speed you can get in this area, and it's reliable, and It's unlimited data. So if you are part of our company though, however, if you have our service, you become a member, which means you get money back. Every year we give out capital credit money. And if that money is not claimed, it goes into a big fund in our foundation. And we have a scholarship program. Our scholarships are due tomorrow for graduating seniors and for those who are adults that are continuing their education, even into graduate school. And then we also have a Washington Youth Tour, and Heather Floyd, my associate over there, she is responsible for that, and that deadline ends Saturday. It's for 16 to 17-year-old students, usually around juniors in high school. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that, so have a good night.
All right.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good, good. Slam it up a little bit, stretch your arms. So I'm Ron Heilman, I'm the commander of the VFW. Been an active part of the VFW since 2014 when I retired. Plus an active member of the community. If you remember from last year, I was volunteer of the year. This year, my wife is citizen of the year. So it's a reverse. I can't remember. I just do whatever she tells me. And you end up getting rewarded for it. So, VFW goals is to make a safe environment for veterans and their families. Plus, we help veterans with their VA claims. We help family members. Unfortunately, when the military member passes away, every year we do a big memorial ceremony at the cemetery. So please get involved. If everybody looks back in their past, everybody's got somebody that was a veteran in their family. So please come down, because if you support us, we're able to support the community better. And here we all are. Thank you.
You want to come and speak or anything?
I don't mind.
Okay. You look like you were contemplating back there.
Oh, I'm actually wanting to talk to somebody, but I would like to talk to the owner.
All right.
Let him know.
Hi, how are you? Do we have anybody who likes guns in the room today?
No.
I thought we might. Is anybody an NRA member?
No.
Now, a lot of people are a little upset with the NRA and have been for the last couple of years. Well, a couple of years ago. We've been working on it to fix it for the last couple of years. My name's Jeff Knox. I'm a member of the board of directors of the National Rifle Association. I'm a neighbor just up the road, and I am here. I come up here. I'm a life member of the VFW. I come up here mainly to offer my services, answer your questions. If you've got any questions about what's going on at NRA or how we can get training in up here, I'd love to talk to you about it. Something that I'm mainly here is I want to talk to Sheriff Daniels. You know that the NRA offers a $35,000 life insurance policy, line of duty life insurance policy for every officer that's a member of the National Rifle Association. It's free. They get it automatically with their membership. If you know people who are in law enforcement, please let them know about that, because nobody does. I talk to cops all the time. They just simply don't know. And we want you to know, because we have paid out millions and millions of dollars for our heroes that have lost their lives in the line of duty. And I think that's important, and I think it's worthwhile. Anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to step in front of you. If you have questions, if you want my business card, I'm here, and I'm a neighbor, and I'd love to help or straighten things out. Thank you.
All right, next one is called Frank Antonori.
Hey, thanks for inviting me out. Little housekeeping real quick. I don't know if you guys are aware, the legislature changed the dates for the primary election this year. It's going to be earlier, so the new primary election is going to be held on July 21st, which now means the last day to register to vote, if you guys aren't registered to vote, is going to be June 22nd. So you have to register to vote by June 22nd. So the 21st will be the primary. Early voting will begin on June 24th. So you should be getting your ballots in the mail probably 2 days before that or that day. So they'll be mailing them out and you should be getting those around the end of June. So just so you're aware, it's going to come a little earlier. It's 2 weeks earlier. So just you'll see the signs going up here pretty soon. So you'll figure it out. Good news is I'm not running this year, so I don't have to deal with it. But state legislatures on, and everybody else. Mr. Cloud, who's our county reporter, is running for re-election because he was appointed when David Stevens retired, so he has to run to fill that seat. I see Mr. Tucker here. I know you guys don't know that he's now a member of the Planning and Zoning Board, so you have somebody from your community here that sits on Planning and Zoning, which I can tell you in the next year is going to be a very busy commission in this county because we got a lot going on with regard to planning and zoning. So, and this is a special area. I don't know if you guys are aware. A few months ago, the board designated this a special zoning area because of the challenges with the abandoned subdivision out here and all these vacant lots and all the lots that are behind in their taxes out here. So we've been expediting, the treasurer and the board have been expediting the property tax sales and trying to put them back up for sale to try to get all these properties back on the tax roll. So we've been having auctions. We have another one coming up in March. So if you go to governmentsurplus.com, it's a website that has all the auctions for all sorts of stuff. You want to buy an old police car from the sheriff's office? There's police cars on there, there's county vehicles on there, there's dump trucks and bulldozers, and also parcels, land parcels. So if you guys want to add to your palatial estates, if you're living next door to one of these parcels, you might want to put a bid on it, and you might get a couple acres for bottom dollar. Something to think about. The other things that are going on is, it may not affect you guys, but the county, and the sheriff may talk about it in a little bit, the county's looking at opening up an animal shelter in Wichita City. We don't have one right now. So part of the process is we're getting ready to find the revenue. We did get a grant, however, we got to pony up about $300K a year to keep the lights on and pay the staff and whatnot. So we're looking at that. Our budget process is starting at the end of March. It's a new budget year, so we got to get our budget done by June. So the county will start looking at our budget going forward. So one of those things we're looking at the budget is finding a way to get animal shelters in the county. So the sheriff is going to be running it, so it's on him to make sure it all goes well. But Ms. Gomez, my colleague on the board, she's been real passionate about it. It's been a big project of hers, and she's really happy that that's coming to fruition. She was in Washington, D.C. this week. As I mentioned last time I was here, we have a port of entry going in Douglas that's going to be opening up sometime around 2029, 2030, and there's going to be an increase in traffic, particularly truck traffic, coming through that port. So she's been up there advocating for federal funds to help do highway and road improvements to handle the challenges that may come with that new port of entry. So that'll be some stuff that's going on. We're getting ready to start doing chip sealing again in the county. You guys hope you saw, you got a lot of your roads chip sealed last year, so you probably aren't going to get a chip sealed this year because we do it once every 10 to 12 years depending on the traffic. But we're going to try to do a few more in the area here. It's always a challenge. The county's facing budget stress because we haven't had much population growth in Cochise County, and the way we get HERF revenue to fix the roads is based on the number of people that reside in the county and the number of vehicles we have registered in the county. So if we don't have a lot of people and a lot of vehicles, the money we get for road maintenance goes down, and the cost of paving roads and chip sealing roads goes up. So, but we're going to continue to try to supplement that with some general fund revenue and try to get other ways to bring revenue into the county by trying to get some businesses in here over the next year or two. And that's why Neil's going to be a busy guy in planning and zoning as we work to try to bring some industries and businesses to the county. Of course, we're facing challenges with regard to the AMA. The governor, she was down here 2 weeks ago. We went with her, and she's now considering making the San Pedro River Basin an AMA, which will also put stresses economically on the county when it comes to bringing businesses in the county on that side of the mountain. So we already have this issue over here with this side of the mountain. We're going to continue to work with her and her ADWR team to try to mitigate the impact to our farmers and ranchers here, but it's going to be a constant challenge until we figure out how to get more water here. Unless God brings lots of rain over the next couple of years, it's probably going to be a challenge for some time to come, but we're going to try to do the best we can to deal with it. A few other things. Our board meetings are every second and fourth Tuesday. Those are the regular meetings, but we do a lot of special board meetings. So if you want to keep up to speed on what's going on, we're putting everything on the county website so you can see all of our agendas. Laura, the clerk of the board, every Friday updates all those agendas, so it's cochies.az.gov. And you can see one of the top things there is all the agendas for the month that are up there, and she posts those there. So if you want to see what's going on, and hopefully you can also sign up for notices on there. There'll be a place there where you can sign up and get emails when the agendas come out, so you can kind of keep up to speed what's going on. I hear from a lot of people, we've been trying to deal with this, trying to communicate more with folks out there. It's very difficult because we don't have large media outlets in this county. We don't have TV stations out here. We have to rely on the Tucson TV stations. We only have one newspaper, and then we have some blogs and some Facebook organizations we try to keep up. And Jane, our public relations, public information officer for the county, tries to put out as much as she can. So if you check the county Facebook page, and you check some of these other places like the Cool FM Facebook page, you can see a lot of the stuff that's going on in the county as well. Last thing is I have a few community enhancement dollars left over from last year that I need to spend before the end of the year, which is June 30th. So if you guys want to do a community cleanup and you need like a roll-off dumpster or something along those lines, or you guys need some new hoses or something, send me an email or a letter, and we can set that up. And if you want to do that, we can bring. I got one coming out here in about 3 weeks. I'm trying to remember where Jason Fazio said he's going to put it. It's somewhere off of Treasure Road, though, on one of these Treasure and Central, I think is where it's going to be. They're going to try to clean up a lot of the trash that's out here from a lot of the folks that may or may not supposed to be in these certain areas out here. That's a whole nother issue that we're trying to deal with. But that'll be going on, so we'll have a dumpster out here. If you need another dumpster, if you guys need one for this area, let me know, and I could have our sanitation guys drop the dumpster off. Oh, that reminds me. If you have a sanitation service that comes and picks up your garbage that you contract with, you're probably going to see an increase in July of your garbage fee rate. That's not on us. I just want to be perfectly clear. The state of Arizona added an extra $4 per ton to their cost for overseeing and inspecting the garbage dumps in this state. So the county had to raise that fee $4 per ton. So if you have a garbage company, or well, you guys don't live in the city here, but if you live in like Sierra Vista, that's going to raise the per ton fee. So you may see a few pennies or dollars. What we did not do is raise the transfer station fees. We're going to keep that at $7 a truckload. So for those of you that do your own trash, we didn't touch that. But if you contract with a large, like Waste Management or one of those companies, you may see a few dollar increase. I just want to make you aware of that. Oh, last other thing, the jail district tax passed. We're getting ready to start. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting today. We're getting ready to go and hire a company to get rid of all of the ocotillos on the parcel. We have to get permits from the state, and they are a native plant. They're protected. So we have a special company that's going to come in and pick every single one of them. And there's thousands of them out there. And they're going to offer them for sale. So if you guys want to buy ocotillos, this company is going to take all them out of there at no cost to the taxpayer. That's the good news. So they're going to come in and they're going to clear that lot and take all those ocotillos out. But the reason they're doing that is because they're gonna turn around and sell them and make their money back. So they're not gonna charge the county to remove them, we're gonna give them the permits to do so. But if you guys keep your eyes out for that, that'll be sometime midsummer, July timeframe, somewhere in there. So if you wanna get a bunch of open-TOs, I don't know what the price tag's gonna be, but by then they should be clearing those open-TOs off of the parcel where we're gonna build the new jail. We'll be starting groundbreaking on that soon. So you're going to see a half-cent sales tax increase on July 1st. So if you got a big ticket item you've been thinking about buying, you might wanna run out and grab it before July 1st, so that sales tax will go back up on July 1st. And that's what it is. If anybody's got any questions, real quick, you wanna throw at me, I'd be happy to answer a question for you. Yes, sir.
What was the address?
Oh, I don't know what the address is, so it's, we have to put it out for bid. We've had several companies that want to come and do that.
Okay.
And we're also waiting on the permit from the Department of Agriculture, who has to give us the permit. But, they are going to start removing them probably in May.
Okay.
So they will offer them probably for sale June, July, I'm assuming, sometime. But there are thousands of them out there. I mean, that's all that's out there is OPTs. There's probably a few other native plants but not that many. They'll be also offering them for sale, especially like barrel cactus, a couple cacti that are out there as well. But we have to clear all that off before we can start construction. So that'll be happening here pretty soon. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Do you have a problem with having a water management area?
Yeah, good question.
So I don't like the way it was implemented, so I do have heartburn with it. I really do, because it's creating winners and losers. And usually the losers are the small farmers and the small ranchers. The bigger companies have mechanisms to get around it. I don't want to pick on, but we have these very large out-of-state nut companies now. If you notice, they're still planting trees. And those things suck 120 gallons each per day, right? So, we could create various boogeymen around here, but those guys are going to town, and then we have the regular small farmers, like my predecessor that used to have this job, who's got his couple hundred acres over here. These guys can't add anymore. I got all these wineries outside Wilcox that can't add any more acreage now. And people wanted to grow their wineries and expand their vines, and they can't do that now. So the small guys are getting squeezed, and the guys like Ed Curry right down the road here put a lot of money into water conservation, so he didn't have to use a lot of water, and they locked him in at the level he saved the water at. Meanwhile, everybody else that was pumping like gangbusters, that's where they got locked in. So they're getting to use that water, like they were using before. And it was very, in my opinion, unfairly and too quickly implemented. So that's my heartburn with it. I also, and you're gonna hear this, I'm gonna be straight up with you, I'm trying to find industries to come in here, and what we want to do is fallow acreage voluntarily, without forcing farmers or ranchers, and we're gonna probably put some industries on there that don't use quite as much water, and we will have a net reduction in water usage because the trade-off for irrigated land versus just providing water for a business or industry will be dramatically less. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reduce the consumption of water and then bring businesses in that are going to generate revenue. Yes, sir.
What about the fact that they fenced up all this area here in town for more winery? Is that going to be allowed?
So the way the AMA is right now, they're not issuing any more, nobody should be drilling any more wells, commercial or agricultural wells. You can still do residential wells, but the big wells are supposed to be in the moratorium right now, although I saw a truck the other day drilling a well over here, so I kind of wonder what's going on, So again, if you wait, I'm not going to get into that, but there's loopholes that you could drive a truck through in that AMA, and it seems as though certain entities are taking advantage of that. Yeah. I do not foresee, if they have to put a well in, I don't see that happening. If there's an existing well there, then they may be able to have the grandfather rights to that water to do that, but I don't know enough to answer that question. What's that?
It's not going to be whole water supply in there.
I don't know that. I'm not in the wine business, but I know they use a lot of water. So if they don't have an ag well,
would they allow whole water supply? I mean, we were having water pressure issues complaining to the corporation, right? Because they were hauling water from here to Tombstone.
yeah, I got involved with that. We did the complaints up to actually ADWR. to come down and investigate that. And that, if it's true that they were hauling it over to Gleason, then that's a violation because you're not allowed to take water and transfer it from one aquifer to another. So those guys are being investigated. I don't know what's gonna happen to them. But we had an incident with a guy in Wilcox who was doing that and got in a little bit of trouble for moving water across the aquifer. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You're saying don't have an issue with the AMA and, you know, trying to protect small farmers and the big businesses are the ones getting away with it. I recently saw some kind of, I don't know, article or something where you were talking about bringing data centers to the area,
Yep.
which use far more
Nope.
water.
That is totally not accurate anymore.
It's not accurate that they use all water, or it's not accurate you want data centers
No,
that
it's not
are
accurate that they use a
water-based?
lot of water. So there's
They
two
are, absolutely.
There's two companies that have redesigned. They have what they call it's called a sustainable data center. They pick nice words. But the one that they're looking at only uses about 15,000 gallons a year, which is about what 3 or 4 houses use.
And what are the
They're not
promises
gonna
and
be
guarantees that
using-
come with that? Because that's
they're
not been
here-
shown on any data center across the United States. So what is our promises, our community, our water, that that's true before they come in and start siphoning way more than that? Because that's never been proven anywhere in the US, so how could it be here? They're not
So they
doing
just
that.
built one in Reno, Nevada. This company just built a data center in Reno that
Just
uses no
built.
water. They're completely air cooled. They're refrigerated air cooling, these things. They use a lot more electricity, but they use a lot less water. So that's the trade-off. And as I mentioned, our Planning and Zoning Commission and the Board of Supervisors is developing the special use permit process right now for that very purpose.
And that's-
over the next 6 months, we're gonna be putting that ordinance together, and then we're gonna be voting on it, and that's the ordinance that Planning and Zoning is gonna use to review and either approve or deny special use permits for these entities as they come into the county.
Are they gonna be able to drill new wells for these 15,000 gallons a year that you're saying only that they're going to take? Because that's commercial, that's not
They're
residential.
probably not going to drill new wells because they're going to purchase farmland and use the existing well on the farmland and then fallow that farmland and use the commercial well. that's on that
Probably.
farmland. What's that?
Probably or definitely?
Well,
Are we eliminating new wells or
Again,
probably?
I can't answer you because part of the process is we write this ordinance where you have to put all this in. And if we say that it depends on where they put it. Okay, so if they put it over here, they're gonna have to use an existing well. They can't drill a new commercial well. So they're gonna have to use an existing well. But if they put it on the other side of the mountain right now, that's not an AMA. So if you're talking San Pedro there, they're still able to drill wells on that side of the river. And then, of course, if you go out towards Louis San Simon, they can drill wells that way because that's not in the aquifer either. So depending on where they go in, the challenge is the I-10 corridor is where all the fibers are. So they're gonna be somewhere in proximity in the corridor here is where they would likely look at putting these facilities.
Well, I know we're trying to bring in some new tax dollars. I just hope we're not doing it at the expense of all of our wells that are already being tapped and going low. And I understand these guys got a lot of money and they want to come in and they get their way a lot with that money. And I'm hoping that our elected representative in front of us is looking out for our benefit in this room. I hope everybody is listening to this.
Well,
and
like I
understands
said,
what's
we are
happening.
being 100% transparent. We're posting all the meetings, and we're not hiding anything. I am making sure everybody knows exactly what's going on. So, like I said, we just had our initial meeting, the joint meeting between the Board of Supervisors and the Planning and Zoning Commission, and we began the process of writing that ordinance, and that input is the stuff that we need to put into that ordinance. So
And
when we
it's
start
more than
having these
water.
public meetings, be sure to show up and provide that input to the Zoning Commission and to the Board of Supervisors.
Because there's definitely noise issues, electricity use
That's
issues.
why
It's not
one of the
just
things we're
water.
looking at is putting them a minimum of 2 miles away from the closest house. They will be 2 miles or more away. That's stuff that we're talking about. All these conditions that will go in the special use permit. It's against state law to ban them, so I want to make sure everybody understands that. By law, we cannot ban them.
We don't have to welcome them though. We don't have to invite
No,
them.
we don't have to welcome, but we gotta set the rules. These are the rules, the special use permit conditions that they have to meet in order to get the permit. That's what we're talking about. So what are those rules? That's what we're gonna be working on over the next 6 months. Yes. Yes, yeah, they're on the county website, and you can sign up to get notices, like I said, but you'll see the agendas posted on the county website, so you just watch that on the county website.
So I'm
Yes,
kind
sir.
of a younger one in the whole area, right? And I was looking for 40, 50 years here. Are you guys doing anything to keep my tax dollars in this county? Anything at all?
I mean, would you be keeping count?
I hear a lot about business and this and that, but nothing about people.
The individuals,
You're talking
not the
about, we don't
business.
have the tax revenue coming in our county, but the people are tax revenue. You're talking about businesses, corporations,
Sure.
for tax revenue. But without the people to work in the businesses, without the people here to license their cars, without the people here, you're not gonna have the tax revenue. So without the water, you're not gonna have the people here. So when are the people gonna come first? That's what these people wanna know.
But it's not an either or choice,
But
right?
you're
There's a way to manage
promoting the
this.
people, you're promoting business. Everything that comes out of your
Well-
mouth is business before people.
No, that's not what I said. And so we just lowered everybody's property taxes in this county 2% this year.
No, you
right?
did
We
not.
did.
Okay.
If you look at your county, just the county section of your tax rate, it was we did a 2% rate decrease on your property tax. Because no Cheese College or the Benson School District or somebody else raised their taxes, don't blame me for that. Okay, we reduced your taxes 2%. We did a 2% rate cut on everybody's property tax.
But are we gonna be able to live as citizens without water?
Again, the solution is to find a way to get the water, and the solution is to find a way to reduce the current usage of water. And what I'm offering you is a potential opportunity to do that. If you're gonna bring something in that only uses 15,000 gallons a year versus a pivot, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I can guarantee you a pivot pumps way more on a 160 acre irrigated parcel than 15,000 gallons a year. So if you fallow that 160 acres and you only take 15,000 gallons out, that is a net savings of water that you're reducing to the aquifer by doing
Crops
it.
to live on.
But what?
Then you've got no crops and no food, so what you gonna think?
Well, most of that stuff is feeding cattle. I hate to tell you that. That's the reality, so you're not getting a lot of food from that. I don't want to take the sheriff's time, but I'll answer one more question. And if you guys want, afterwards, I'll stick around and you can come, and you can.
News tonight, they were interviewing people about the data center, and we're only gonna take one, for 180,000 homes. That's all we're gonna use, 180,000 homes worth of water. That was on big news.
Well, that was the Project Blue that was in Tucson, which is different design and a different one. That's not, we're talking about small ones that are like 60 megawatts, not those big hyper centers or whatever they call them, hyperscalers.
All right, guys, I need to ask.
All right, let me hand this off. I will stick around, so I'll be
Let's
happy
ask
to.
Frank his
Yep.
questions. Let's
Yep.
get Sheriff Daniels up here next.
Yeah, they don't, they can't.
Sheriff Daniels, will you come up here first?
Thank you, guys. Let's talk about something called crime. I get this, and people ask me all the time, but thank you, Frank, in the fact that, hey, Sheriff, come to the water meeting. Listen, I'm not the aqua police. Talk to Frank and the board, it's a tough job, and I feel for them on that. They try to find some balance in that, because there is. It's sad. Water is gold in the West, and top topic. Top topic there is about how they're going to bring water to rural Arizona, and I don't even remember this congressman. And but I'll believe it when I see it. Everybody talks a lot. Thanks for having me again. Thank you so much. I mean, the hospitality here, the foods, the chips, everything. My Diet Coke. Thank you. Get your refrigerator and stuff. But everything else was really good, and I appreciate coming over here. And I apologize for my tardiness. I coach high school soccer, and I told the kids at 5:15, I go, Coach, I gotta go. Coach, where you going? I gotta go to a committee meeting. They do pages for this job here, and so that's why I was already coming over. But let me just say, our job's not getting any easier in law enforcement. I think you all know that. I mean, you've all been super to us. This county and the elected officials I work with, we do so well to serve you all. We do so well. We try to work together. We might not always agree. You've heard me talk about that. But at the end of the day, Cochise County has united in so many ways, more than not. And before I go any further, I want to make sure I introduce my staff to you. Tom, raise your hand right there. Tom's my chief of staff, over 50 years of law enforcement service. And he barely looks over a day over 70. He's amazing. Just look at the guy. But Tom was a former police chief that serviced the police department, Chuka City, Tucson Marshal, and many other things he's done in his career. But Tom's just been an amazing friend of mine. He's mentored me over the years through my career. So he's been with us for 13 years now, 12 years, something like that. 12 years, and so he's retiring. He's gonna go into a senior advisor role at the sheriff's office because I don't want to lose his institutional knowledge. He's done my budget and helped me get through that. And ran my office here for the last like 12 years. So Tom's gonna be staying on a part-time basis. To his right is Sergeant Joe Gilbert. A lot of you guys know Joe. He supervises Joe's got 20 years in it, and so now it becomes a time I'm trying to hold him here as he looks at other options because he's on probation now, so he can retire. So we'll see what happens with Joe. But he's your go-to guy when it comes to a lot of your field stuff, things that immediately happen that you call. He'll be one of the supervisors leaders on that. Sean, next to him, same size as I am. He, short people can say that, but short people, we can't. So Sean's one of my lieutenants. He's been with us 26 years in law enforcement. He's your area lieutenant from here all the way up, all the way down to Douglas, that area, but he's the guy that manages this area and all my deputies and resources here. And he's done an amazing job on that. Sean's going to the FBI Academy next, which is a very infamous thing to do in law enforcement. So it's Leadership Academy for 3 months. So Sean, good luck on that one. And to his right is Lieutenant Mohe Ariel. He's out of the Douglas area, grew up down there. He actually just got promoted to captain today. So he'll be working with the Board of Supervisors, Commander Bradshaw, who's my jail commander, myself, and Chief Molina in building this new jail. So he'll be our project captain to ensure that we're fulfilling your wishes, ensuring that transparency is in the project, like Frank said, and the board, so we make sure we get a jail that'll last until a lifetime. I'm excited about that, I really am. That was one of the goals when I took over 14 years ago as your sheriff. We knew that was an obstacle in the criminal justice system. And thanks to you all that supported it. And those that maybe didn't support it in the room, let me just share this and commit you on this. We will be transparent with you. We will work with you. And if there's something you don't like, please reach out, reach these guys, call me. I return all my messages. I'm not a sheriff you can't find. Okay, unless you threaten to hurt me, then I'm not gonna call you back. But the bottom line is we truly want to hear from you. This is a community jail. And it's a quality of life issue that I know Frank and I have talked about that. Hopefully a year from now, and I said don't hold me to the time, but a year from now, hopefully we'll roll dirt. We'll kick the dirt up and put shovels in the dirt. So we'll see where that takes us. I know we want to get this project over and done. So this is my 42nd year in law enforcement, and let me just say, people ask me, Sheriff, you still smile. I still love what I do. I really do. Is it headaches? Do I have issues? Do I have challenges? Is it complex? It is. When I look around, I drive around this county and stop to get something to eat. I stop to get a soda, turn around, somebody's already bought the soda for us. We don't know who it is, but because people trust and care for us. We've worked hard to build that brand in your county and do the things you've asked us to do. I work for everybody in this room. Some of you want to fire me, I get it, but the majority of you haven't. So, but I do. I like what I do and I care for people. I like coaching. I've coached 28 years with our youth in this community, call football games, all the different things we do. We do the charity ride. We get about $50,000 a year. I got cars for the kids coming up. We raised $81,000 for kids last year. That's the kind of stuff we do to give back to our community. This park right next door here, I don't know why you don't know it, maybe some new people here. That park, some of your community leaders, this community came and saw me 10 years ago and said, we need a park, Sheriff. And I called a friend of mine, Mr. Buffett. He said, hey, can we build them a park? I'll build you a park. He gave me some money for that, so you guys remember that. So that's how we do things. I'm a big believer that the positions we hold are honorable. They do no good for us if we don't have the influence to move things. The influence to do things. I leave tomorrow at 5 in the morning, head to Reno. I have a meeting with Secretary Noel Monday morning, the ICE director on Sunday, for Western State Sheriffs. We do those meetings because we all saw what happened in Minnesota. No matter whether you like it, dislike it, I'm not here to talk politics with you. I'm not a political guy. I'm a cop by heart, a politician by disguise. And I'm glad that's the way it is. Because I'm not here to BS you, to tell you things. I'm here to tell you, listen, we're doing our best to serve you with limited resources. We don't have a lot of resources. Everything you see from 4 remodeled facilities to our border center, which has been an icon in the country nationally. Look what we brought here a couple years ago. President Trump, Vice President Harris, Vice President Vance. 2 speakers of the House have been down here. Dr. Phil's been down here a couple of times. Kix Brooks from Brooks and Dunn's been here. several times. Look at all the people we brought in. They didn't come here because, hey, what's in Cochise County? What's going on here is people that care. People that believe in you all. Because the more we can bring here, the better off we are. Now, some of the challenges we're dealing with, I'll just tell you, is social media. Look what just happened in the Benson area with the dogs. You all saw that there. John Gacy was running around, got to that level. John Gacy's in the neighborhood. My team got with me that night, said, Sheriff, this is growing late. I said, what is it? We actually had one dog. We went back to a fact-finding mission. Listen, we can talk conspiracies, we can talk opinions, we all have. And I respect it. Let's look at the facts. In my business of 42 years, I want to hear the facts. We had one dog that was taken from her property and tortured and killed. And if I get that person, I'll put him in jail. My teams went door to door. We put so much work on that case. Then we had some others. That the facts that the one that if you're here tonight, sorry, I'm going to call you out. The bottom line is, she claimed on social media that she had home intruders. They shot her dog and lit her place on fire and burned down. Folks, that didn't happen. The vet said the dog was not shot. Now, vets are good. I don't know if the dog's been shot in the head. That dog was not shot. We got the report. The arson investigators, 2 of them that are trained in that, said no, it was electrical fire based on a 120 serving a 120 serving a 240 or whatever that electricity stuff is that burned the place down. Don't know what place. You see where I'm going with this? And then they had a GoFundMe account the next day based on those stats. That night, I told my team, start a fraud investigation because that's fraud. Folks, it doesn't matter who you are. Nobody's above the rule of law, including myself. We're going to make mistakes in life. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody in this room has made mistakes. Don't say, I'm perfect. The only perfection in the world is what's described in the Webster Dictionary. I think you would agree with me on that. But social media causes me a lot of grief because anonymous people, cyber bullies, or those that just hate the world can say whatever they want, and people believe it. So I say that to you tonight. If there's something you see on social media that doesn't seem right, doesn't look right, doesn't sound right, whatever it is, pick up the phone and call us. Call these people in the back of the room. I won't BS you. If my office makes a mistake, if I make a mistake, I will tell you we made a mistake. I've never skirted the responsibility that you've given to me, and the trust you've given to me. That's not going to change. We had a deputy get in a very bad accident the other night, going to help service the police department with 1 in the morning with subject to a burglary, run around 3, they're all masked up. Well, that's a serious call. We're going to do everything we can to get there. We sent several deputies, several service PD. The officer was out there by himself with these 3 suspects, and they were running from him. Well, as he's going down the boulevard, a car pulled right in front of him. I watched the video on it. Cut right in front of him. When that and the guy, I'll just tell you straight up, what we're hearing preliminary, his blood alcohol is over 0.3. That's a happy guy. And but he had no business on the road. And we're waiting for the final facts and the final blood toxicology to come back and everything like that. But we also look at what was my deputy. Was there a problem with his driving? We'll look at that. And if there is something internally, we'll address that, and there'll be corrective measures. I will say this, I've had a pretty blessed career. I've had a pretty, I'm not one to sit back. Rudeness and laziness drive me nuts. I've said that before, and I'll say it. I'm not rude. I try to treat people with respect, but I'm also not lazy. Ask everybody in the back of the room. Sometimes they look at me like, Sheriff, come on. But at the end of the day, we have to work hard. I don't need lazy people serving you all. But I've also been blessed in the fact I follow the rule of law, and I follow our policies and procedures. And in my 42 years, I've never been formally disciplined as a cop. You're probably saying, oh, what's that? I'm not saying I couldn't have been formally disciplined, I just never was. But I stay within a parameter of rules. But I'll say this to you too. As your sheriff, I've had 3 little fender benders. I was picking somebody up at we have a helipad, and one of the helicopters was landing. I went to pick up somebody that's flying in to see me that day. And I pulled up our helipad, we got these little mason jars with little lights in them. And I hit it in front of my car and broke the glass. So I told my commander, I said, hey, write me a statement that's damage to the property, your property, you own it. 2 years later, I was going home, and I always pull off into a residential neighborhood and do all my emails, so I don't bring that home to my wife. She doesn't want to hear it. She's not into politics at all. So I pulled over and looked down for a second, about 5 miles an hour, and I hit a mailbox. Quick scratch on my car. So I got out of the car, looked at the scratch, didn't damage my mailbox, but I went up and rang the doorbell and said, hey, hi, I'm Mark Townsend, the sheriff, I hate your mailbox, can you come out and take a look at it? And the guy goes, are you the sheriff? I go, yeah, he goes, I've been wanting to meet you. So we talked, he goes, so I told him, I said, hey, I still gotta get your information. He goes, you don't need my information, there's no problem with that mailbox. I said, listen, sir, I gotta record this, I mean, so, and then just recently, I was backing up into a parking lot for a meeting, and I hit a pole 3 miles an hour. And it put a crack in my taillight. So I gotta tell you a funny story. So I had my commander write me a counseling statement. That's the only time I've been written up when I've been sheriff. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm getting old, I can't drive anymore. But long story short is, that commander was giving me the counseling statement, and I was reading it. He said, you're a role model, you need to set the example when you're driving. I looked at my commander, man, this is pretty harsh. And I go, I put me in an ask him a statement. He goes, well, call me and ask when I give you discipline. I said, okay, yeah, I got it. But again, nobody's above it, to include myself. If I don't do that to myself, how do I hold others accountable to serve you all? I'm very proud of the men and women that serve at the sheriff's office. Very proud. They work their butts off. When it comes to major crimes in this county, we've gone after it full force. And I'm very proud of our clearance rate with limited resources. We're about mid-range. In fact, we're probably just below the 50% mark when it comes to salaries, starting salaries. Most sheriff's offices now are paying $70,000 to start off. Most agencies in Phoenix are $75,000 to $80,000. We just got up to $60,000 thanks to our partnership with the Board of Supervisors and all the work the men and women have done to earn that. We're not catching up, but we're staying steady. That's all they can ask. We hold people in Cochise County, the men and women that work here, because this is their home and they believe in what we do here at the Sheriff's Department. We don't play politics. We play public safety. I think that's so important. A couple of things I just want to hit with you. Our care team, which has been your care team, we've got that new grant, is coming to an expiration on July 1. I've asked all the city managers, Sharon Gilman, your county administrator, we have some of the city managers already. We're asking all of them to chip in, let's keep this program going. It's $400,000. It's not fair that Cochise County or the sheriff's office has to endure that cost. And right now, the city managers, the police department, the fire departments, whatever the crisis for you, our schools, we share that program. So we're excited to have that kind of, they'll come to your house 24/7 to care of a crisis. They need to talk to somebody with an emotional breakdown, somebody passed away, whatever it may be. That's a free resource for a county like ours to have. It's pretty exciting on that. The jail, like I said, we talked about that. The border, what a different border. So let me just share this with you. Don't think this border that nobody's coming across it. They're coming. They're coming. In Minnesota, we saw what happened here in Minnesota. Where the external border is better off than it's been a long, long time, trust me. The internal is fighting now. Because they're trying to do the law that they're hired to do. I will just say this to you. This is not a political statement, it's a real statement. Shame on Congress. Not the current one, but past members of Congress that have shut down our homeland. Those that come in to protect you, to put their lives on the line, to back up our deputies every day in this county and beyond are not getting paid because they want to play politics on the back of a federal agent. I have a real problem. I told Secretary Nolan, I told Rodney Scott, the commissioner, all the way up to the White House. Y'all got to do a better job to get Congress to do their job. That's a hard thing to do. So if you see your congressman, and Juan Ciscomani has been amazing. I'll just tell you, he's been amazing to work with us. But he's not the problem here. But there are many other ones that are playing politics, and you guys take it from there on that. But we got to get our homeland opened up. This is ridiculous. And that's what our meetings are in Reno coming up on that. The communication, let me just say this. I'm so excited. We just had a big 3-hour work session, annual meeting on our CCOM, which is our communication center. We're going statewide here real soon. All that upgrades, all those towers, we're talking millions of dollars came through state and private grants. By the way, I take less than 0.5% of federal grants. 0.5% of federal grants. And I'll give you a couple examples. A couple years ago, several years ago, federal government said, Sheriff, you want to buy some more cameras? Our camera system on that border region kind of runs all the way to San Diego, into New Mexico, south of Phoenix. We can tell you what's coming across the border. That's why the Southwest Border Initiative from the Department of Defense is here in Fort Pachuca. That's not by coincidence. We work hand in hand with them every day from human trafficking, financial crimes, smuggling, drug interdiction, you name it. And I was briefed on some stuff last night. They are kicking butt on that border center, kilos of dope and everything else. We're keeping this county safe. But I'll share this with you on this. It's somewhere. You never have that happen at Brady's house. You you know, yeah, I'm getting old, I said, accepted it. I'll think of it in a minute, I'll go back to it, but bottom line is, we're doing what we need to do to keep you safe, keep this country safe. By the way, this border center here is being duplicated on the Montana-Canadian border and the New York border, ran by sheriffs in those countries, working with Department of Homeland Security. I am so excited about that, because we set the standard. We're the only sheriff's office border center in the country. And we proved our worth. We proved our worth. And all these programs from CCOM, the dispatch, we're going statewide comps. The 30 million chief in this was all grant funded or private donations. The federal government, that's what's going on. The federal government came to me and said, "Can't Sheriff, we'll buy you more cameras." I said, "Okay, send me a thing." They sent me a contract. It was only about $66,000. I looked at it. They wanted me to disclose every camera location. I don't even know where they're at, because I don't have a need to know. I'm not in the rush with it. But they wanted every camera location disclosed to the federal government. I said, "Well, that was a nice try, Rick." We didn't get it. Folks, we're not gonna lose the integrity of that center for $66,000 for any nothing. That's what made that so impressive. We have that center right there. And people ask me, I get challenged too by people, "I don't like what you do. You're just like Minnesota." Don't say that, it's an insult to me. We got partnerships with our state, local, and federal that work so well together. At no cost to you all. Besides the personnel cost that I get paid and the deputies get paid, all that center came through grant funds. Everything I've talked about, CCOM, whatever it is through grant funds. I'm very excited. But we got statewide comps coming up here very soon. Every police department, fire department got radios, didn't you? Through a grant we got. The last grant was $6 million, because we ensured everybody would have that system. So if he's up there in Phoenix taking a patient up, whatever the case may be, he'll have comms all the way back to Cochise County CCOM. If I'm in Illinois and I got cell service, my radio will connect all the way back to Cochise County. That's impressive. We come up on an accident, we have a patient was transported, or a detention officer transported to, and something goes wrong, we have direct comms. We got an emergency. I'm so excited about that. We're doing some really innovative things that took a team to do and a community to support it. And that's why I come over tonight and say thank you to all of you. Thank you for allowing us to be cops in our county, and allowing us to do what we were hired to do. And that is to protect you, but most important, protect that quality of life that you all expect. Except for water, I'll talk about water. And so thank you. And I'll shut down here right now because, one last thing. You know, I gotta say it. The chief's only going, "Oh God, who says that?" Cochise College has been a huge partner with us. I gotta say this. Right now, we have a police academy at the college. That's where all our people are trained. Graham, Greeley, parts of Tucson agencies, they come down here right to Cochise County to get trained. Number two, we have Detention Officer Academy, we're putting over there at the Douglas campus, help revise that a little bit. We're in process with that. We have a drone academy for law enforcement nationwide. We just had 22, how many went through that class? 15. 7 off, sorry. 15 law enforcement just went through that, graduated through that drone program. And last but not least, had sheriffs throughout the country here. And we're setting up an executive course for new sheriffs and senior command folks to learn how to be sheriffs and work in communities. So that's a program that we're working with the president of the college and his leadership team. So that's 4 different programs that law enforcement now is using with the college, community college, training community cops. So I'm very excited about that. With that, thank you again. Any questions for me that doesn't take a while?
So how are we doing with the drug house?
You know, I said this the other day. I spoke that night for a few minutes at a dinner. You all saw the raid on Taco Guerrero? See that in Sierra Vista? You all see that? They hit them all throughout the state. That was a 2-year investigation. I just met with you the other day on this. That's not over, I can tell you right now. I can't go into a lot of detail beyond that. But so they hit the business. We hit the houses. Sierra Vista Police Department, Sheriff's Office, we have a regional SWAT team now. We hit the 2 houses. In those houses with kids. They barricaded, these were all, I'll just say it, I'm going to be really correct with you, they were illegals in that house. But they barricaded children in it with them. Under false pretense, false names. Folks, that's an exploitation of kids. Horrible, horrible. Now, you go by there, and they're still packed. And people say, "Sure, I made a comment there at the dinner, I'll say it here. If you believe in the rule of law, if you believe in, I call it modern day slavery, you take kids and you take adults and you exploit them, traffic them, smuggle them, small line of definition, but you're gonna go cater to the same businesses doing that? Your choice. I'm not saying it. You won't find me. Hey, let's go to Taco Pure. Not this guy. Not this guy. Listen. Seriously, what are you saying by doing this? It's like having a drug house here, and then you go, hey, you got the management. I get some management. I ain't getting nothing from you except what you in cuffs. The bottom line is, I don't cater to that. That's just me. Because once I'm in now, I'm encouraging that kind of behavior. I don't encourage that. I stand against that. All my folks in the back of the room do the same thing. So, Stash House is still active. We just took, just so you know, a month and a half ago, you probably saw in the paper, we took the 8-year-old in a different county, 2 counties north, it started right here, Cochise County, that we were working on with our Fed partners. I won't get the great detail. That car was stopped 3 times by another agency outside of Cochise County. The lady driving, a known trafficker, had her own child in the back, and on this side was a child that was given another name, was told to use this false name. She was stopped 3 times, popped up in the system as a child trafficker, and they let her go 3 times. They had enough conscience, these street guys, to follow that car into another county, call, we were involved, I sent, at 11 o'clock at night, I sent one of the feds that works in our task force, and 2 of my guys up there to address this problem, and Pinal County Sheriff jumped in there to help us. As a result of it, we saved that kid's life. We still have that kid, I don't think the kid got back reunited. How do you get, the cartel's not gonna say, hey, where'd you get this kid at? And the kid finally admitted, they told me to use this false name. Folks, actually make you sick. We actually hit a house a week later in Douglas and took a lady down that ultimately admitted that's what she was doing, was trafficking children out of this county, 30 minutes, 45 minutes out. Folks, that's what we do, is save lives and change lives. If I'm not changing lives and saving lives, I shouldn't be your sheriff, I can promise you that. So they're active, don't get me wrong. We have to do more, and we have more time to do more in-depth investigations on people doing stuff like that, which gives us the opportunity to save lives. Any other questions for me? Sir, in the back.
I just have some questions about law enforcement's support of the community. Heard a lot about that from you tonight. However, some of us might not be feeling that support. Heard a lot of great stories about places like Douglas, Sierra Vista, Wilcox, places that have their own police departments. Us out here, we don't have that. And we rely on you. And I want to say it was about a year ago, you stood up here. You said a lot of the great things that made us all feel confident. But you said the things that you needed was us to help you do your job. Things like videos, pictures, evidence of these people doing these things, walking around our neighborhood terrorizing us. Well, we've done that. We've provided these things. And yet we still don't feel like anything's being done. I will speak firsthand of sitting on my couch at 5:30 in the morning and somebody came to my front door and tried to walk in my door. Did not knock. Did not announce himself. And this story is so common amongst people in this room. Waking up and going out to work in the morning and finding somebody sleeping in your truck. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. And so the police department says there's nothing they can do about it. That doesn't feel like we're being supported. What's the right place? The one that was unlocked? He's not at the wrong house. He's going house to house trying to find the right house, the one that's unlocked. Not his house, not anybody he knows. And you guys know it. And we know it. And we're catching this guy on video doing this. Going from one door, walking over the fence, trying the next door. We have him on video, let me finish, in people's cars. We have people that are willing to help the police department and say, we know the drug house. We know you know the drug house. We're willing to let you pull us over, driving away from the drug house with drugs in the car. And yet they're being told that the police department or the sheriff's department can't do nothing for it. And on top of being told they can't do nothing about it, we're being called vigilantes for being armed with flip-flops and a cell phone. I was called a vigilante by your officer Shaw, who, by the way, makes $78,000 a year, folks, not $60,000. That is starting wage. Most of these officers are definitely making more than that. And I don't have a problem with that. It's a hard job. It's a hard job, and they do deserve. They're doing great things. But in this community, when we don't have nobody else to rely on but you, and when we call you, You know, no officer even came to my house that morning to find out what happened. 4 911 calls. Not one officer comes to my house and talks to me. Not one officer calls me. No report, no investigation. And you want to stand up here and tell me you're investigating these drug houses and it's taking you years, yet we're here living with them and they're still open. And you guys aren't even doing the investigations, but you promise us that you're doing these other investigations into these drug houses. We're not confident in that promise no more. Because these drug houses are still open. This guy is still. I had somebody in my front yard just 2 days ago who took a phone call and said, I gotta go. He's back at my house stealing shit. And he was at my house a month ago. And then I just find out 2 weeks ago, another fine taxpayer of this great community is now on the chopping block for trying to defend his property, a vet. And this is how the sheriff's department is treating us, folks. And I know there's several people in here that will back me up and say this. We don't feel confident. You ask for our help and we give you the video, we give you the pictures, and then you tell us that we're threatened with harassment, disturbing the peace. You're telling us you're going to take us to jail. You're giving us the felonies. And that guy is allowed to keep roaming free and continue to harass us. Why? Because he was at the wrong house. Who's confident in that?
All right, well, I appreciate what you're saying. I know last time I was here, several months, 6 months, whatever it was, I was here last, there was a couple folks up here that actually shared that. I took every one of those cases back, we dissected them, looked at them, and figured out what we had, what we didn't have, what the facts were, and resolved, got back with the people, went through them all. Am I right, Sean? Come on up here, Sean, for a second, you would. The individual you're talking about has been arrested 3 times since January 1st this year. 3 times since the first of the year. Folks, if an officer, we'll follow up on Shaw. He's a corporal, by the way, he's a supervisor. That's where his pay increase came from, plus he got a little tenure with us. Let me just say this to you. The criminal justice system, well, let me just give you a case. Let me just show you how I get so frustrated. So, I don't disagree with anything you've said, as long as everything you said was factual. Everything you said was factual. I'm not saying you're not. I would agree with you. But let me just share this with you. The criminal justice system is not perfect. Sometimes it pisses me off beyond you all. Okay? I know you got a new guy around here, and I wish he was here so I could listen to it all. Because we want to protect you. We want to do certain things. We handled just under 40,000 calls for service last year. In one of the largest counties in the country. Trust me, and we got to prioritize every one of those. And that's no excuse. That's real. I think we do an amazing job of doing it. We need to fix this problem down here.
Amen.
And I agree with you. And I'm not here to turn my back on you, or here to do anything that or give you an excuse. Excuses get us nowhere. I'm going to tell you a story. Some people in this room probably are going to say, and this is frustration. That guy's a nuisance that needs to be in jail. No doubt. But the rule of law protects him too. Don't get me wrong. But if he's sleeping in your car, his butt should have been in jail right then and there.
I agree. So can we explain why he wasn't? You are here to answer for these things. These are your deputies you take. And by the way, that's not the Shaw that I spoke of.
No, he's not Shaw.
Okay, I just want to make sure you said Shaw. I wasn't blaming him. That's not the deputy Shaw I spoke of.
I'm going to let him speak on this in a minute. Man, whether you're a truck.
We want him to take the blame.
Before you leave tonight, I want you to get his number here, and we'll get you answers. Did the deputy come out? Did he arrest him?
Didn't even come out.
Well, let me apologize for that, because I don't know the whole story, but based on what face value, he should have gone his butt to jail. So I told my people last year, there is zero tolerance in this community for that guy. And anybody's doing stuff like that. So I can't explain it. I'll get answers, trust me, he knows me. And, because if you're sleeping, if somebody's in my car, his butt goes to jail too. I mean, you're a protected place. I mean, that's crazy to me. So we'll look into every one of those. So if you're in this room before you leave tonight, you get with him and my chief of staff over. That's why we're in these meetings. So we can figure out what happened. There might be something we don't know. But he's been arrested 3 times since the first of this year. But his little butt should be in jail on those, especially. I know that, Dollar General, remember the one they talked about last year? Who was that person in the room?
My car was one of them he slept in.
Okay, did he go to jail for that one?
Of course not.
Did you report it, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, I can't explain that.
They're not following up. Nobody came and followed up.
I was just gonna ask
them
to bring
do not have
questions
any
to Sheriff Daniels, let him wrap it up, and then comes private.
No, this is good. This is good. I hear
We're
this.
running just a little late.
Yeah, folks, please, don't walk away pissed, let's walk away together, okay? And I'll tell you, we will figure out what's going on with this, and
just do this. I appreciate you. I
It does have
appreciate
perfume,
you.
yeah.
Yes. Because I want to be able to protect myself at my house. I know. I say, what if I shot somebody in my front yard?
Well, we live in a very vast area, and we all agree with that. Under the Castle Doctrine, you have the right to protect your home. If somebody's coming into your home, like somebody made that comment, you made a comment about trying to get somebody's house, I don't know what the try means. If they're knocking on the door, if they're trying to break in your door, you have a right to protect that under the Castle Doctrine. My job is to come across
That's
the
not what
scene
you-
for you.
that's
But
not what
walking
we're
through
told.
somebody's property, whoa, wait, that's not right. That's not, I won't stand up for that. Bottom line is, you gotta post it every 75 feet, what the law requires, 75 feet, or if you told him to leave and he wouldn't, then we can charge him. Folks, we have to follow the rule of law.
That's not
Not-
what's happening though.
I'm not saying it wasn't, she asked about the first festival. Listen, let me just say this, I agree with you, you're not fighting with the sheriff saying you're all wrong. I agree with you, but we gotta get to that common ground. Why this happens, this is the first time I've heard about it, sir. Nobody picked up a phone call, you're elected sheriff. I work for you. Did you call me?
I was the one that got arrested, sending my own home.
I don't know about that either, we'll find out, sir, I don't know what happened. But folks, you didn't call me, and I'm not saying.
No, we called 911.
But listen, if you're not satisfied with the way it was handled, you call me. You call me. I'm easy to get a hold of. Everybody in that back of the room knows my number, don't you? You call me, and I will address it personally, get you a factual answer, not an opinionated answer. But you gotta get a hold of me. I'm not saying we're perfect. Remember I just said, perfection doesn't come on every incident, but we strive for it. We push for it. We'll figure out what happened on all those cases. There might be a reason you got arrested, sir. I don't know. And there, it's not. What's that?
When somebody trespassed his land. He got arrested because someone trespassed his land.
What do you say really for? Now, let's not make this bad or hostile. Folks, if you can throw chairs at me, we don't solve anything, do we? He wins. Let's work together on it, okay? Let's work together. I'm committing that to you. Nobody, I wish I'd known that when I walked in here, I'd have all the facts for you. Nobody said anything about this, on this. But I'm willing to work with you. Sean, do you want to add anything about what's going on here?
You should have been informed from this because we did the COP meeting 2 months ago.
Bring it up to New Orleans.
Yes, we did. That's where I talked with A. Shaw, and he called me a vigilante, but he never came and took a police report. Can you imagine?
I apologize he called you a vigilante. I appreciate community policing. You should be out there patrolling.
And that's why I didn't call you, because I came to their meeting. I was told the sheriff was gonna be here, and I came to speak to the sheriff, and he wasn't there. So I came tonight to speak to the sheriff. Because a private conversation is one thing, but this is being talked about amongst the community on the community boards. And the community needs to discuss this as a whole. And we did that one time with you. You came, and we discussed it with you. I think we need more of that.
I think I missed one of your meetings in 14 years. So I missed the last one you had.
Don't do it again.
I know.
So where you go?
Thank you for lightening the mood. We love our sheriff's department. I mean that, but.
I know you do, sir. You all.
But it's frustrating.
I get it, and that's what I mean. I agree with you. We just gotta figure a way to get it fixed, and we'll work on it. Sean?
First of all, we all understand the frustration of the community, and we share it. I'm well aware of this individual. Most of the incidents you're talking about are driven by one individual. I can't get into each individual case because it's easy to throw out a couple sentences, but when you actually do the investigation, it's a little bit more complicated. But I still know and sympathize with the frustration in the community because this guy is really a problem. We are aware of it. Just so you know, I may have 3 guys on duty covering about 2,000 square miles in my region, and for like 4 hours of their shift, I'm sending them up here to patrol because we do know right now the community has a problem. One primary, and there are a couple others. So we're aware, we're working what we can with the information that we have. I know it's frustrating. Please keep calling us, and I'm not going to make promises that every time you call, the resolution will be perfect and what you want. Maybe we made some mistakes. That's human nature, and we own that. We will work better, and we will try to solve the problem. The individual was arrested 3 times. If we arrest him on Tuesday, he's out on Wednesday. His behavior does not change. Because although he's driving everybody nuts, the criminal justice classification of his offense is a minor offense. So in the morning, he is released with a low bond or no bond. Eventually, trust me, after 42 years, after 26 years, I am frustrated with the criminal justice system. It takes a long time.
When can we finally get these drug houses shut down? Everybody knows who they are, everybody knows where they are, I've been told that they're gonna be shut down. That these problems with these other individuals will go away if we get the drug houses shut down and get more deputies on the street. I mean, I'll be a deputy, I'll volunteer to get a deputy car, I'll sit in front of these houses. If we can sit in front of the houses, they're gonna get real nervous. We know where the houses are, the whole community knows where the houses are.
We know where the houses are.
Then let's do something. I'll volunteer to go inside and do whatever needs to be done to get whatever proof. I can deliver a pizza.
She knows everybody.
We've had narcotics team in your community, a lot, for days and weeks on end. It's hard to get into some of those houses in smaller communities like this because you can't just park down the street because every car in town is known. And the minute a new car parks down the block, every neighbor is saying, who's that? And why are they there? And there's two guys sitting in it.
That's right.
Well,
Along my truck.
we have.
If I was a drug buyer and I was going to my drug house and everybody knows where it is and there's these cars sitting in front of it, I wouldn't go there.
And we have done it. But I put people on the block, but unfortunately, they sit there for a half an hour, and then we have a domestic down in Douglas, and then we have to go to Douglas. We're trying. You know what? I'm not trying to make excuses. We're trying. That's all I can say is we're trying. A lot of times, it's just a matter of being consistent. They'll screw up, and we'll get right.
Let me tell you one last story that I'm dealing with the last couple of days. Let me tell you a story. So, and I try to respect our language in the criminal justice. This is part of our frustration you're talking about. I'm not a judge, I'm not a prosecutor, I'm a cop. So we just had a case, let me rephrase, this was my captain, my new captain back there, my chief and my commander was dealing with this and his team. We had two 17-year-old kids get into a high school fight over one criticizing the sister. They agree to meet someplace, they meet, they fight, the one kid shows up with a gun. But the one who showed up with the gun is the one who got knocked out in the fight, or not knocked out, but got broke his jaw in the fight. They filed a complaint against the other kid, 17-year-old kid, got charged for a felon. Now think about our high school days. 4 years later, the kid finally goes, okay, parents go, let's just take this plea, let's go in front of the judge, see what happens. He just got sentenced to 6 months in jail and 5 years felony probation. And I got this guy over here that I can't keep in jail for 24 damn hours. So you understand my frustration a little bit. And then, jails have a 2-for-1. So if you're a minimum classified, this guy has no criminal record at all, 17 years old. So the jail staff put him as a 2-for-1 trustee in our jail because he's so low classified. He's no threat to anybody. Never been in trouble in his life till this point even. Except for that one incident, defending his sister. So we put him as a trustee, and I got the damn county attorney right now saying, you can't have, he's got to serve 4 to 6 months. But I can't keep that guy behind jail, so you understand my frustration a little bit. I get you, I respect you, I respect what you're saying too, but let's work together on that, because this guy needs a lot of love from law enforcement. And I mean love, not the good way. What I mean, he needs our attention. Chief and I will discuss this tonight before we leave. He'll have a special meeting tomorrow. We're going to bring some resources in, and we're going to get this guy. But I got to do it under the rule of law, folks. I'm not going to break his civil rights or get ourselves in trouble. You'll all pay the fine if I do that. But please, if there's an issue, I know you in the back, who else was it? If you have an issue with something going on with this guy, you have a specific case, come see us before you leave. But folks, if it doesn't work, if something's not working in your world, with law enforcement, sheriff's office, I have direct control on, pick up that phone, call me. I'll respond that night if I have to, or that day, to make sure it happens. And I trust my people, but they understand too what's going on. This is job ain't getting easier. It's not. But damn it, we're trying. And that's the most important thing I can tell you on this table. Any more questions besides, you want to throw a chair? Anything else? I thought water was up. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Good job. Wow. Great guys. So, make your way around. Just left in the back.
Nice work, Taz.